Welcome back. Seven Rivers Racing here in KQEG. I'm Dan Dyker along with Al Losey. Our guest going to be joining us here in a couple of moments. Drives the Great Bumpkin, the number 13 North Country Contractor Sportsman, Randy Beer's Auto Care Center car. Mark Chalet is going to be jumping into the program here in a couple of moments. Getting back to La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway, we were talking about how tight the races were this weekend. It's been like this with the Sportsman all year long. This has to be the best racing that I've seen as long as I've been announcing at the La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway with the Sportsman this year. And I know you have a chance every now and then to watch some of those races when you're not working on Al's car. We
definitely try to get out there and watch it. And then what's frustrating is we'll hear about what a great race it was. We can't wait until Sunday evening to watch the races on KQEG because maybe we were working on a car and then we get a chance to see the finishes. And we're going to take a look here at these finishes and just dynamite again. Yeah, these were outstanding. We're going to roll both of our heat races here, and they were both called at the line. The first one very close to Cam Dzelski right there driving the number 8 of Joey Johnson this weekend. He gets lapped, takes it off the track. And then the race was on. And this was the first heat race where Jared Longing was leading Matt Inglet. Again, Jake Arnest in the mix. Very, very quick cars out there again Saturday night. Matter of fact, I think that was Rob Mason and Troy Meyer. Matt Inglet trying to chase down the Lucky Motorsports of Jared Longing in the 79. Looks like there's a chain attached to him right there. Inglet looks to go to the outside. He won a feature race like this a couple of weeks ago, and he just gets on the throttle. You can see the patience, gun it. Boy, and this one right at the line. He sure got good bite off the corner, and that makes such a huge difference in these finishes. So again, Matt Inglet holds off Jared Longing to win that heat race. Now here comes the second one. Looks like this may be Longing and Inglet there again. And again, this is about the fourth week in a row now that not only have we seen heat races do this, but we've seen some feature races. Matt won a feature like this. Rob Mason did a couple of weeks ago. And we're going to slow it down right here. Look how close those cars get. The concentration and your mindset is so firm. You're thinking, got to hold on. I don't want to touch cars. I got to get on the throttle. And, I mean, your mind, especially in that heat, to me, would just melt. And there's a little bit of praying that goes on because you're praying that those tires stick. Now, here's the second one, and this was good, too. You got Ferd, Justin Berg. Rob Mason stuck to the outside, and I talked to Rob during this race, and he did not want to be out there at all. Brandon Berg several times almost made this three-wide racing, and this was close all the way down. Look at all those cars running up front right there. Mason won a feature race almost identical to this a couple of weeks ago as you see the white flag come out. And this one is going to develop again between turns 3 and 4. Here you think Mason doesn't have a chance. Now he's steadily getting on the throttle. Justin Berg trying to hold down the inside edge. Brandon Berg, a little bit of a nose shot right there, comes off the throttle. Maybe a little bit of push from Dr. Noise, Billy Martin, but here we go into turn 4. Same scenario. Watch this one finish at the line. You know, because the track is a little cooler there in 3 and 4, I'm just thinking people really had a good grip coming out of the corner, especially on a hot night. And again, Rob Mason at the line takes care of Justin Berg. Berg, hats off, man. He was gripping that steering wheel. That was one of the best races I've seen Justin Berg run this year. And he's been actually getting steadily better this year, too. We've been noticing that as well. United Auto Supply Thunder Stocks at La Crosse this past weekend. Andy Moore takes home the feature win, and he pads that point lead he's got by a couple of more over Bad Brad Worthen out of Sparta. That point race, Worthen 18 back, Jason Bolster 20 back. Do want to mention that sportsman-wise, Dan Gilster leads Randy Hunkville by 25, and his brother Jimmy Crackhorn Gilster by 35. Greg Scheck and Matt Inglet round out the top 5. Let's go to some video here with United Auto Supply Thunder Stocks. Took a little bit for Moore to get through. Nathan One Car White did get a heat race win. Jack Litchheim won the dash. Chris Webber won the heat as well. And this one also coming down to the wire until Moore said, I've got open daylight and catch me if you can. You know, he's been really racing very well this year. He's getting steadily better, too. Not necessarily just wins. He's winning by more and more. Well, again, Andy Moore trying to get in the top 10 with the Whalen All-American Series Division III statewide points. And again, to add some more points to his point lead there again, 18 better than Bad Brad Worthen. All right, so that's La Crosse. It heated up last weekend, going to heat up again this weekend. We've got the 10,000 penny rush for the kids. And all the drivers always donate. I go through the pits. I collect a little cashola from the drivers.
and one lucky child always gets to take home the big pocket of over $100 in cash. So we can't wait for this weekend's races. Looking at Dells Raceway Park, last year's Dells Raceway points champion Corey Jankowski started the season. Didn't look like he was going to make them back-to-back, but he steadily climbed back in, 66 points out after a big feature win over the weekend. Defending champ of the Sportsman, Darren Fish, got his second feature win in dramatic fashion on Saturday at Dells. Driving the car that was driven to a championship by Dave Trout in 2010, Bill Zeman won the 25-lap Pure Stock feature event. Bandits sweated through an 18-lap feature. That went to Steve Ralsik. And the big legend car racing they had there this weekend was pretty cool. It was a 20-lap legend field, which was won by Aaron Moyer, who was racing coming from North Carolina. Up next at DRP on Saturday, they have the round 3 of the Alive for 5 late model series. It has been so far Frank Cryer leading after the first 2 events. He and Dalton Zero of Daytona Beach have been victorious up until now. Our guest in the program today, and we're going to talk the entire third segment with him, drives the number 13 Great Pumpkin, Mark Chalet. Mark, how are you?
Good. Hello, Mark.
Good to finally have you into the program. Mark has been one that you're steadily watching week after week, getting things figured out. He's only got a 2 or 3-man crew that sits down there in the pit areas. And I like the paint scheme this year. Are people recognizing you now as the Great Pumpkin?
I think so.
You need to get a green stem on top of your car.
Well, we could do something about that.
Mm-hmm. There we go. The little green stem on the car, and then we put a Snoopy in the back seat.
Oh, that would work.
The entire Great Pumpkin. Racing season this year has been quite hot. First off, what do you think of this field? This has to be one of the best fields you ran in the past couple of years.
I think this has been one of the tougher years. I mean, everybody's so packed together, and if you don't have track position, you're not really going to go anywhere.
Now, last weekend, we know how hot it got on that track and how it was in the pits. How did your car set up on what every Sportsman driver told me was a very slippery track?
Well, it seems kind of weird, but my car's actually been liking it better on the hot than actually when it's cold.
Oh, really? That's kind of an interesting note.
Well, it could be because of the way he's got his shocks and his springs set up and things like that. And also, does your car sit in the shade when it's off the track? You're not. You're in the sun, aren't you?
Yeah. No,
he's right at the end of the very first portion of pit row. When we return, we're going to talk more about Mark Chalet, and a very young driver, very quiet driver, and is slowly making his way through the ranks this year. This is the Seven Rivers Racing Show on KQEG TV.